Well, nearly 100 kilometres of fireworks lit up the skies over the Palm Jumeirah and the World Islands as Dubai welcomed 2014.
A 6-minute display set a new world record for the largest fireworks display, with well over 450,000 fireworks being set off. But not everything had gone according to plan.
Well, now there were widespread reports of traffic snarl up and down the Palm Jumeirah, and the display itself started around 20 minutes after midnight. How did 10 months of planning go awry? Well, Priyanka, Dutt investigates.
Eyes to the screen, because this is the moment we have all been waiting for. This is Dubai's world record attempt for the largest fireworks display in the world. Enjoy.
At the stroke of midnight, a dark sky over the Palm Jumeirah. The 6-minute-long fireworks display that had been meticulously planned for the past 10 months were nowhere to be seen. Finally, 20 minutes later, the fireworks did go off. But what had caused this delay? Dubai World Records 2014 sent out a statement saying the attempt attracted larger crowds to the Palm Jumeirah than we had initially anticipated. Safety precautions were of absolute importance to us, and we had to take some extra measures to guarantee safety of all the additional crowds. Dubai did break the world record that night for the world's largest firework display. But those of us who were here that night will always remember that it was 20 minutes delayed. And now it's becoming increasingly clear that the big reason for that was the unprecedented number of people who had gotten onto the Palm and onto the various beaches here, proving to be a huge security risk. But this was no ordinary case of a few extra people getting onto the beaches. By next morning, stories started emerging of another event, one of the region's biggest music festivals, Sandance, held at the same venue, ending in chaos. Soon it became clear that both events were connected. Thousands of Sandance ticket holders were unable to get to the venue. Stuck on their buses for hours on end, many of them just got out and walked into the Palm.
So at this point, we're on the bus. No one told us that the road had actually been blockaded. So everyone literally just walked across the road in traffic, and nothing stopped us. No one stopped us. We literally just walked, we crossed the road and walked onto the Palm, and there was nothing to stop us. But there was hundreds of people at this point, and yeah, there was no way to differentiate if you were going to see Sandance or if you were a non-ticket holder.
What bothered us the most is that they didn't have any of the organizers of Sandance on the buses to control the people on the bus. So at the end we decided to ask the bus driver what's happening. He was like, sorry, but they're not letting any buses into Sandance anymore. So we're like, okay, we'll walk.
Soon social media was abuzz with pages like these. Angry, irate people putting up pictures, telling their stories, and most importantly, demanding compensation. While the organizers have been saying that one of the main reasons for the chaos on 31st was the unexpected traffic situation, a lot of eyewitness accounts have been telling us that the problem started much earlier, right here at the AUD campus, where Sandance ticket holders were asked to come to board their shuttle buses.
So we got to AUD at 7. There was chaos in AUD itself. People were everywhere, thousands of people. And they didn't have enough staff to manage the people there. So people started shoving and pushing, people were fighting, some people were getting stepped on, they fell on the floor. People were throwing up on other people, and no one was stopping them.
Once you got to the queue for the buses, that was horrendous. There was no queue. It was just a huge crowd of people. Yes, there were barricades, but people were just jumping over them, and there was no one to enforce any of those.
So, of course, every time a shuttle bus comes, people are pushing and fighting to get on the bus. And you can't do anything about it. No one was stopping them.
The events of that night threw up a lot of unanswered questions. The most important question, despite security advisories that were sent out weeks in advance that said access to the Palm would either be limited or completely blocked on the night of 31st December, how were so many pedestrians allowed onto the Palm, be it Sandance ticket holders, residents, or even the general public? Also, where was the dedicated bus lane that was to take passengers across the Palm? Dubai's Road and Transport Authority was in charge of all the shuttle buses to be used that night. When contacted, they sent us this statement. We had deployed 56 buses to carry people from AUD to the Palm, which eventually carried around 23,000 passengers. However, due to the over-than-expected turnout of people at the Palm on the 31st, it was difficult to maneuver buses freely inside due to the crowd, making travel time much longer than expected. The traffic management control inside the Palm was not under RTA's jurisdiction. We contacted all the entities involved, from the police to Nakheel to the organizers of Sandance. The common theme in all their replies, the unprecedented turnout of people that eventually turned unruly. While there is no doubt that there was an organizational failure, the volatile crowd, with tempers running high, also aggravated the situation.
What they don't understand is that to us, it wasn't just a normal concert like any other day. It was the beginning of a year for us, the start of a new year, and they ruined it. So we started off 2014 on the street, in the cold, with no water, no nothing.
Sandance went live with their refund process 5 days ago, promising all those affected a full refund. While this public apology and promise of a refund has calmed some tempers for now, all eyes will now be on how future events of this scale will be handled. Priyanka Dutt, Emirates 24/7.
Now, of course, Dubai One was at the Atlantis Hotel that night as well, broadcasting live the New Year's Eve show. In fact, Priyanka Dutt was at Nassimi Beach reporting live on the fireworks display, and she's with us here in studio. Priyanka, thank you for joining us. I wanted just to ask off the back of that report, you were there on the night. Did you have any inkling, did you see any of that unruly behavior of those crowds, I guess, going places they weren't supposed to go?
Omar, now, as you said, we were official broadcasters that night, and even we, with our media passes, were told that security would be really tight and that even us with media badges would have to get into the Palm by 7 p.m. latest. And that's what we did. So we did not notice any of the unruly behavior. And once inside, there was no way of knowing. It was only once the fireworks were delayed that we realized that something is amiss. But one of the biggest unanswered questions is how did so many people get onto the Palm when we were told categorically security would be so tight?
That's the thing. I mean, we've heard from so many people already saying it took them 4 hours to sort of move 100 meters on the Palm. Ridiculous things coming out of there. For you, behind the scenes, what were some of the challenges in trying to report on this event?
Now, Katie, when we started doing this report, our main concern, our main brief was to find out what exactly happened, because we went in there, we came out. It was only by next day that we realized things had gone horribly wrong. We started seeing what was happening on social media. Now, when I tried contacting the various departments, as I mentioned in the report, I was passed on from one department to the other. So there are a lot of discrepancies in the actual chronology of events. If you saw the report, we tried to answer many questions, but until now, there are a lot of unanswered questions. And most importantly, since we are a television station, I wanted to interview people on camera, as we usually do. But we, more often than not, got written statements via email.
Well, definitely a lot of challenges there. Priyanka, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.